All right, folks. Today we're gonna smoke some ribs. Ain't nothing special, just St. Louis rack of ribs. But I gotta tell you something real quick. I'm not really a guy with a lot of money to be slinging on fancy equipment. This is just an average Joe Schmo smoke. Ain't gonna be anything special. I'm not gonna do anything cool. But I thought this would be kind of fun, just to kind of video document a smoke, just cause. So, with that being said, you know, it's just an average Joe smoke. You know, there's not really a whole lot of, you know, just you don't have to have money to smoke delicious meat. You don't have to have the money to do it. You don't have to have fancy equipment. You can just do it. A lot of people might give you crap for it, but whatever. Is the meat delicious? That's all that matters at the end of the day, right? So, you know, with that being said, let's get started. Alrighty, folks, we got ourselves some pork spare ribs, just regular good old Smithfield. You get, I got this one from HEB. It was pretty cheap. Let's see, it was like $10 a rack. Well, spare ribs, more like St. Louis style, but anyways, I'm gonna open this up and we're gonna take off this membrane here. Maybe trim off some of this fat. I like keeping most of it, you know, flavor. But let's go ahead and open it up and rinse it off, and then we'll do some trimming. All right, so we got our ribs here. Pulled them out of the package and got them rinsed off, patted them down a little bit so that way they're not as wet. And then we'll go and remove this here membrane, trim a little bit of this fat down here, and then we'll season it up. All right, so we got the membrane off, well, as much as I could. It is super tough getting it off of that meat cap there. It's just tough. But we got off the membrane as much as we could. I only see little bits and pieces of it, but we did pretty good. And trimmed it down a little bit. Like I said, I like the fat staying on. And then we're just gonna go ahead and throw on our spices and make our rub. I'm a simple man. I don't like a whole lot. But see, I'm gonna do some brown sugar, a little bit of chili powder, cayenne pepper for some heat, paprika because it's just awesome. You need garlic powder and onion powder, salt and pepper. So I'm not gonna do much. You know, these aren't fancy spices; they're off-brand, but they do the trick. You know, not a fancy guy, so I don't need fancy spices. But let's go ahead and give this a good rub down, huh? All right, so here we got my Longhorn Oklahoma Joe smoker. Got the firebox here, and inside I just have some Kingsford charcoal. Had it sitting, just a little bit of lighter fluid, not a whole lot, and let it soak for a few minutes. And we'll go ahead and light her up. A couple different places here. Gonna leave this open and let it burn. And you know, just get it nice and happy, get some coals, and then we'll be smoking with some hickory chunks. I don't have big logs or anything like that, just the chunks. So let's go ahead and let this burn up and get grayed over, nice and good coals. And then we'll go ahead and start throwing on our wood chunks, All right, so we got that rub on the ribs. Got it rubbed in pretty good. And we're gonna take it out to the pit. Pit's rolling some smoke. It's not exactly the color I want, but you know what, it's okay. We're gonna throw these bad boys on the pit. Let's go. As you can see, coals aren't completely grayed over, obviously, but charcoal's nice and hot. It's red hot, so we got some good coals going. That's what we're looking for. That's what I look for anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and close up this here compartment, and we'll open up the damper. I'm gonna start with about that much for now. And then we're just using some good old-fashioned hickory chunks. I have another bag inside when I run out of these, but this is basically what we're using. So we're gonna throw some hickory chunks on there, start the smoke rolling. All right, so like I told you, I'm not a fancy man. You know, I don't like using straight wood. I mean, not that I don't, I wouldn't. I would, I could. But it's a lot cheaper to just use, you know, coal for your heat source and then throw on some wood chunks for the smoke. There's nothing wrong with doing that, I don't think. I'm sure a lot of purists have a problem with it. I don't really care. Seems to do the trick for me. That's all that matters. So I'm gonna get this wood set up how I want it. There we go. Getting that smoke rolling. Gonna let it catch for a minute, and then we'll go ahead and bring out the ribs and go and close this up. All right, we got the ribs on. Got the smoke rolling. I don't really have a thermometer to monitor this with, so really I'm just gonna have to babysit it. But you know, I'm in the process of trying to get one. You know, those digital thermometers that you put into the meat, but I'm just gonna have to babysit it and check it every now and then. So, all right, we got the smoke rolling. All right, wanted to come out and see what the temp is sitting at. Not half bad. Not half bad at all. Now I'm aware this is a dummy thermometer, but like I said, I don't really have the cash to sink into a digital yet. But it's been about 10 minutes since I've put the ribs on. I wanted to come out and check and see what's going on. Still got a decent amount of smoke rolling. So we'll come out and check on it here in just a little bit. So this is that other bag of hickory I got here. Gonna go ahead and open this up and throw it on. All right, coming out here, check on the ribs. I kind of just stopped at the smoke because honestly it doesn't really matter after a certain point once you wrap it. But I'm gonna go ahead and check the ribs. They're definitely done. 209 and some change, so that's not bad. Should be okay with that number. 210. That's about the time, you know, they start breaking down and getting tender, so we'll go ahead and pull them. All right, got the ribs pulled. Gonna let them rest for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll open them up and see what they look like. All right, they look pretty good. Got a nice bark on them. All right, here we go. And they're done. Hopefully they're pretty good. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's a smidge overdone, but it's okay.